G'day scrappers, thought I'd do a bit of a mini marathon on more of these variable speed drives since I've got so many and they're all different shapes and sizes, so it might be interesting. Yeah, this one's another bigger one. Yeah, they all seem to have different kinds of configurations, and so it might be interesting to some to see what we can get out of all these different types. Yeah, so no. All different shapes and size nuts, but nice heavy duty stuff. Might just go with the screwdriver. Save me looking for a Torx screw. Okay, well, some clean steel anyway. Yeah. It's a little bit different, this one, to the first one I did. Well, it's got a little peripheral board or mid-grade board. Good start. Yeah, this one's very different. It's got, looks like the whole thing might actually just slide out, maybe. We'll see how we go. Cut a few wires just in case, you know, who knows. It's probably not going to make any difference, but it'll relax those paranoid ones that are, you know, keep warning, oh, you're going to get electrocuted. Well, that's possible. Just hope that they've the bleed resistors on the capacitors have done their job. I mean, that's what they're all about. All right. So yeah, I'm sort of going to edit my way through these variable speed drives to sort of just make it a mini marathon rather than a really long marathon. Because even though they're configured differently, they're I'd imagine they're all pretty much similar in some way. Nice long bolts, these. Okay, so this is obviously your tin plated copper, but it's not a very heavy one, and it's also got the insulation, so you can almost probably have to put this into insulated copper wire or something, I don't know. They're a little bit strange. Funny old risers with plastic covers around them. Could still probably put these in irony brass. Okay, right. I'd imagine the capacitors would be underneath all this. I'd like to get to them really before I did a great deal. Let me just have a little look around. Not sure if might be able to, because I can see the, okay, so, well, it's heavy, I tell you. There's got to be something, you know, good in there if it's this heavy. But I can see the these bleed resistors, so the capacitors are all under there somewhere. Yep, but it's one complete casing, so I assume the only way to get into it is from the top. But I'm just having a little bit of fun. Just want to get rid of all this stuff. It's sort of taking up a bit of room, and just get these out the way, and I can continue on with normal eWaste. So much of it's coming in at the moment. So I'm pretty sure street scrapping is pretty much over anyway now. So I don't think there are any areas left. I'll keep an eye on it just in case we do have a late area, but I'm pretty sure now at this time of November it would be the end of it. Really disappointing that through the pandemic I missed so much street scrapping. Virtually most of the year of street scrapping I missed. So, you know, sort of just regret, you know, I'm just imagining all the different things I would have found, you know, maybe even some vintage games. So yeah, that's disappointing, you know, but at least we're over the pandemic by the looks of it. It's been 2 weeks now that we haven't had any cases here in Melbourne. So 2 weeks, no new cases, no deaths. So it's looking good. But seeing that I'm going to get a lot of this stuff on a regular basis, it's good to be able to do a whole bunch of different ones just to get the feel of how to scrap them out. So as they're coming in, I can do them nice and quickly and get them out the way. So there we go. We just got a power board here, but still good size power board. All right, so now it's starting to look more like it. So we've got another plate here. looks like tinned copper plating again. Yeah, unfortunately it's got this insulation around it. It just makes it harder to sell as anything. But we'll see how we go. Just wondering, see, the only way to remove this plate is to remove all the bleed resistors off the capacitors, and it looks like it might only be 6 capacitors here. The other one, I think, yeah, it was 8 capacitors. So this one's a little bit smaller. Yeah, okay. Okay, looks like a giant heatsink over the other side. Interesting. Might just see if I can turn it around. So you can see that they're the same capacitors as the last one, and look at the size of this heatsink. Wow, that's huge. Just not sure how it's going to come out. It looks like all I have to really do is just undo all these top bolts, and everything should just slide out of that hole. By the looks of it. Well, let's give it a go. Wow. I think these are all mounted to the big heatsink. Okay. Well, that's one step. But yeah, I enjoy doing these oddball things, and it's just so much different to scrapping regular e-waste like IT equipment. Yeah, it's just a pity about this insulation covering. I'm not sure how easy it would come off. Yeah, not very easy. It's almost like it's painted on in some way, but it might be able to. Yeah, it's so well stuck. Yep. I'll probably, once I accumulate a whole heap of it, I'll wait till I do a lot more, and I'll probably just take it to the scrapyard when I've got heaps, and then just try and sell the whole thing as in one go, and just say, look, I've got, you know, X amount. I'll probably do a better deal if I've got a whole heap of it. Okay, I've got one really big nut here that I've got to find a bigger socket. So it's bigger than a quarter. Okay, this one's 11/16. So it's a nice warm spring day today. It has been quite warm for a while. There we go. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a lot of them. Now, going to have to do it by hand, I think. It's just going to take too long to find the right torques. So let me just undo all these. See if we can at least get this part out. Okay. Strange, isn't it? It's just plastic and just got these bolts running through it. Okay. Well, that's one thing. Ooh, I can see in some nice copper here. Okay. So these little things, I'm going to keep some more of this because I've already had a scrapper come the other day and took a few capacitors and wanted the bigger ones of these kind of things, those black ones with the jelly that was inside them. But I already scrapped them up. I just got the turned them into dirty brass and took off any bit of copper that I could get off. Okay. All right. So, all kinds of weird risers. Hopefully I don't have to undo all the bleed resistors, but it looks like I might have to. Certainly will. And I still got yeah, that's the only way, because the bleed resistors are on the other side. The capacitors are all down there. So I think I've found the right torques. That'll save me some time. So what I'm doing here with these bleed resistors is I'm putting them back on the capacitors. Obviously there's no scrap value and they're much more valuable on the actual capacitors, because anyone that wants to buy the capacitors or wants to swap for the capacitors for something else, they'd want these bleed resistors. So I keep all the screws, and I just put them straight back on to the capacitors, and wow. So there we go. Yep. You've got a bit of colour there. It looks like that might have been just from heat. The tin has sort of tarnished and gone yellow from, yeah, I'd imagine it would be from the heat. There's an extra layer of this stuff. Wow. Just not sure what to do with that stuff. Oh. So there's our 6 capacitors, and they're certainly bolted in again. And we've got more of these, so I'm pretty sure these are the things that was it Craig? Yeah, it was Craig from out in the sticks somewhere. And yeah, I was actually very busy that day when he came. I had a scrapper before him bring me boards, and then a scrapper after him bring me boards. And so there were people coming in left, right and centre, and I didn't have enough time. Usually most people that come here know that once we start talking I can go on for hours, you know, until I exhaust myself. So yeah, so if I didn't have another customer come through after Craig, we would have probably ended up talking for like 3 hours. But yeah, he brought me boards. So these things here, these ones look, you know, they're a bit smaller, but like I said, I've got the big one that I did first up. I've got another one of them, so I'll have another 3 of these. Okay, so here we have it. These ones are quite dusty. Well, they're the same, what are they, farads? 4400 farads, but these ones are 400 volts. I think the last ones were 360 or 380. So they're even bigger. They're more powerful, I believe. The 400 volts, that's what people want, and that might be a good size actually. They're quite dusty, but Janghal, different brand, but there's 6 of them. And then we just got, yeah, another nice copper piece, and then a huge extruded heatsink. So let me just, I've got to find a torque screw to fit these. There's too many screws. I think I might have it. Done. I think. Yep, they're all 400 volts. Beautiful. Now, this one, yeah, it must be a bit old. It certainly has gathered dust, but just depends on the factory that it was operating in. Some places obviously a lot dustier. But, so there's, yeah, 6 of these. Awesome. I'll put the bleed resistors back on. And they'll be nice complete units. So that's that. Two more screws. Oh, okay, it's connected to something. I thought it was just going to be a copper plate, but it might be a transformer. Wow, and certainly heavy. Just got to get... There's a little fan here that's in the way. Wow, what's that? What on earth is this? It's like, is it a transformer? Look at the thickness of these copper bars. Unbelievable. Oh, it says a DC choke. I don't know what that is. A choke. 220 amp, 800 volts. T40B. So I might have to look up that part number, work out what the hell this is. A choke. Well, it's a completely sealed unit, so no doubt it could probably go as a transformer or or a battery. I don't know. No doubt a transformer of some sorts. It'd be really interesting to know what's inside it. What could it be? Could it be just copper coil? Doesn't look like there's any real easy way to get into it. I mean, if I was just to scrap it, I'd at least break off these pieces of copper, but this might be quite, valuable to someone. Oh, well, there goes some of the weight. And yeah, so I'm happy to sell bits like this to electric enthusiasts, but only if you're actually living in Melbourne where you can come and pick it up. I'm not interested in shipping stuff like this out. It's just too much of a hassle for me. So, but if you can get to Melbourne or get someone to come to Melbourne, or you know someone that can come over and pick stuff up, you want to buy something, fine, but I'm also happy to swap for other interesting things. You might have some vintage stuff or stuff that I can sort of get some value out of. Okay, and then we've got to undo this massive heatsink in there, and we're going to be scrapped out. This will be it. Tell you what, these nuts are in tight, so I'm glad I've got the impact driver. Just for that initial crack. except for that one. So that's these things again. I wonder if these ones have got the gel inside, but yeah. There's only one screw that didn't want to come. That's better. Just couldn't get into it. So yeah, nice. All right. Wow. Well, that's been interesting. Yeah, it doesn't want to come by hand. It feels easy, but it's just... I think it's because of the... It's the only thing connected to the heat sink here, so it's just a bit tight. So all it is, we've got this steel chassis that's just going to go straight to scrap steel, obviously, and just one big extruded aluminium heatsink. So let's get it out. I just can't get a grip on it. Maybe this will do me. Voila. Oh, can get rid of this now. That's still a decent heavy piece of steel. Oh, and look at the size of this heatsink. Look at that. That's where all those things were on. Look how thick that base is. Wow. Yeah, just wanted to make sure it was aluminium. Imagine if it was brass. I don't think they make brass heat sinks. But that is spectacular. I'm sure this heatsink could be used for something. I mean, wow. Anyway, that's that. Let's just do a little tally on what we got. So, aside from the quite a lot of scrap steel, got this big low-grade power board. the giant extruded aluminium heatsink. I'll just weigh that. 6 of these capacitors, same 4400 UF, but 400 volts instead of 380, so a little bit more powerful. Got these things, whatever they are, and then these things, whatever they were. Unfortunately, the tin-plated copper kind of buzz bar kind of things, but they're in this coating. No doubt I'll get a lot more of that, but nothing like the first one that I did in the single video where it was just tin copper buzz bars, really nice and heavy. Got this choke, DC choke. Don't really know what a DC choke does. Let us know in the comment section what that is. Wouldn't you know it? Just as I'm ending the video, the battery goes flat on me. But so I'll be keeping these capacitors. I'll be keeping this choke till I work out what it is. And let's just weigh this heatsink just to see how much it weighs. But as I said, there's a lot less value in this one than the one that I did previously. It had so much more value. Had a lot more aluminium, obviously a lot more easily sellable copper. This one, most of the value is basically just in this heatsink. It's just under 13 kilos, so nearly 30 pounds. Still worth about 21 bucks to me, as it is. Obviously worth a lot more if you actually needed a heatsink. I mean, I'd hate to think how much it would cost for to buy one. But yeah, so everything else pretty much standard. Not as much value out of this one. Hopefully the next one's better. The only different oddball thing was this choke. And probably a little bit more value in these capacitors simply because they're a little bit higher. 400 volts. That seems to be getting up there. So yeah, I'll definitely keep the resistors that go with them, whatever they are. Alright guys, well, let's get on to another one. Right, so this one here is obviously different again. Looks like this one's going to have more value in it, simply because I can see there's more extruded aluminium in here. It looks like better copper buzz bars. I did get a lot of these little units, and I was wondering what the little ones were, but obviously they're to attach onto the main unit. So these must get wear out more often because I've got a lot more of these little units than the actual big ones, obviously. But this just looks like a control box. There might be some circuit boards in there. Yeah, so certainly quite different. Some of the smaller ones that I've got are almost identical to the one I just did. So they might just be just a small version. Okay, yeah, so obviously some kind of control box. Might be some circuit boards in there, connects to there. Yeah, so good stuff. Need the smaller one. This one just looks blank. Yep. Looks like just one card in here. Okay, well, just a pretty good peripheral board. Gold band crystal, we want that. And it's a nice set of fingers, 3 rows. So I always take, when they're 3 rows, I'd rather keep them. And take out these little plugs. So obviously got a backplane board there, and whatever that board is. We'll take it. Since it's here, I might as well just complete this before we move on to the actual unit. Get rid of it. Okay. right. Okay. Nice. So here looks like a reasonably decent circuit board. Okay. Yeah, so these are just tin plated brass pins or something. Nothing spectacular there. Yeah, just okay, so we've got gold pins along here. Not bad. It's still just a mid-grade board, but I might take off these pins as well. Still throw it into mid-grade. Not a great deal on it, but still. A board is a board. Okay, backplane board, and another kind of like a little power board there. So, and we've got a bit of aluminium here too. So, all right, well that's that. Hey, not bad for a little control panel. All right, well that's more like it. Look at these nice copper buzz bars. Yeah, looks like better than the last one. We're at least going to be able to get into get the clean copper one, not the dirty one, the plastic coated stuff. Okay. Just got to get an extension onto this. Alright, yeah, I can see a nice power board in there too. Looking good. Okay. This looks like plastic, but it's actually extruded aluminium, so that's bonus. Nice. It's connected to some nice copper too. Tinned copper wire. We'll find the right size. That's the one. Seems to be like 4 different size Torx and 2 different types of Phillips screws. Just to be confusing. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice extruded aluminium. So it looks like we're going to get some good value extruded aluminium out of this one. And copper. So it might be just as good as that one on its own I did. Okay. With this nice thick copper wire. I'll keep this just in case. It's just a really heavy duty little piece. It's probably a little bit too small for what my liking. I prefer at least a foot long when I keep stuff like this. But hey, what do you do? Hey Chook, come to help me scrap? You're getting more popular than me. All right, and here we've got another beautiful piece of extruded aluminium. Nice. Did you like that? It's pretty impressive, isn't it? Chooky. Oh yeah, there's another one on this side. I'm going to get in your way here, mate. Oh, got to keep changing the size of the torques. I'll keep this one in my pocket because no doubt I'm going to need it in 10 seconds. Move along. Okay. Gosh. Just another piece. There are a couple of longer pieces. Hopefully they're my foot long ones. They look about 8 inches. Hopefully I can get them out cleanly. There's another extrusion. Aluminium. All right, so here we go. We've got ourselves a nice shiny aluminium capacitors down the bottom there. So we've got 6. Got some huge capacitors up here. This one doesn't look too bad. I'll keep a little bit of wire on these, just in case this power board might be useful. So I've got one chicken inside here, just came from outside the front. Got another chicken hanging around the front there. I've got to go and round them up. There we have it. One nice power board. These capacitors here, well, they're actually 450 volts and 820, what are they, farads? 450 volt. 9, 18, 20, so it's 3,600 volts all up. So this actually might be quite a valuable power board to somebody. Look at the size of the fuse there, huge. So I'm just going to keep this aside because it doesn't have much scrap value because it's only lightweight. All right, and these capacitors held down with just one big bolt. Cool bananas. And yeah, we've got some nice copper buzz bars running all the way through. Let's get this plate off. Just come in a little bit. 19 mil. So we go from AF to metric. Near enough is good enough. And unless they're over, yeah, they might be underneath the bleed resistors. Surely these capacitors would also have bleed resistors. Yeah, they look like they're upside down and they're Vichy. So looks like a good, Vichy is a pretty good long running brand. So I'll keep these nuts just in case, and these washers. All right, so we've got a first piece of steel. That's all right. It all adds up. All right, well, there's our capacitors. These ones look quite quite mean, with the bolt sticking out of them. Quite nice. Let me zoom in. Yeah, I was probably a little bit too far. Okay, yeah, so these look awesome. Now we just got to work out how to get them out. Oh gosh, it's really hard to tell. Well, that's one. Hey. Okay, well, before I get to all that, I might have to start moving some of these copper buzz bars. I want to undo all these anyway. Most of them are already undone. Nice big nuts and bolts on them. Right, that's even bigger. Or is it? No. Okay. That's that. Oh. There's certainly some weight here. Don't know how they just all of a sudden went from one size to another on the same thing. Right. Okay. Get rid of these bolts. There's a riser just sitting there. Wow. There's a hell of a lot of torque screws under the other side. Look at that. Bit of steel under there. Separate these copper buzz bars. Check them out. That's awesome. Nice. There's me nice bits of cable there. Yep, about 8 inches. Another buzz. All right. Just a little power board, some capacitors and stuff, fuses. This part here looks like it's going to get a bit tight to get a screwdriver in there. That's interesting. It looks like a straight This might be a silver plated copper. See how it's flat? It's not like really shiny. I mean, even though silver plated could also be shiny. There's no real way of finding out whether it's silver or tin plated unless, for me anyway, unless I took it in and get an XRF scanned steel. Alright, well it's, you know, oh there's a nice piece of buzz bar as well. But at least we're getting through it quite simply. These are very straightforward, and they're quite fun because aside from all, you know, 3 different torque screws, you know, I enjoy undoing bolts because, as I said, I don't. Most of eWaste is just screws, so I enjoy it. There's no rush, you know. Okay. There's another nice extrusion. It's racking up the value. Another buzz bar. Okay. I think I'm just going to have to undo some more bolts. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. Still goes all the way under there, so ooh, they're nice pieces. Okay. Just to make it more confusing. Well, I'm definitely going to have to somehow get rid of these capacitors. Ah, there's another piece of extruded alley. I think I've got an idea how these capacitors are coming off. I think it's going to be the plate is going to come off complete with circuit boards, everything. So, wow, they've put this together like a jet engine. So many screws and like heavy duty bolts. No mucking around here. So that's what all these screws holding down this tiny little board. So obviously, yeah, they're all connected to a buzz bar. But really, just for that, look, 6 bolts in that 6 inches of board. That's amazing. And there's 4 of them. Everywhere. and as well as the 6, there's a little Phillips just to hold down this little piece. Strange. All right. Wow. Let's see if I can show you the other side. It's still very heavy, but you can see all those buzz bars pieces running. That's where it was all bolted in. So I'm still pretty sure it's all going to be kind of one piece coming out. All right, some screws here. Battery's just dead. I've been using it for about a week. I was wondering when the battery is going to go flat. Lucky I've got the second. See how long this goes for. We'll just check. Oh, this one's just about dead too. So I better put one on charge. I don't think that really did much anyway. It looks like this thing might slide out of this steel casing. Yeah, maybe. One giant fan. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, probably should have made a little bit more room for myself here on this bench. Because it's not easy when you haven't got much room to play with. Oh well, we've got another one of these 8-inch pieces. More copper bars. We'll get that later. Yeah. I've no idea. Well, it looks like it's going to come if I can undo the right. Oh yeah, it might be all on this side. Wow, there's so many of these Torx. This is certainly heavy duty stuff here, I'm telling you. So many. Goodness me. Whew. Well, some things are starting to give. Certainly not that. Gosh. Sorry about this one being so awkward, but can't do much about it. I bet you it's just going to be like one screw or something. Well, it'll definitely slide out. I'm pretty sure. But of course, well, there's one of those things. And this one, yeah, it looks like it had quite a bit of wear on it. Infineon power block. That's what it's called, a power block. Nice solid. Not going to be able to get to the other ones yet. Whew. Yeah, so I can't get to under there. I just can't work it out. Looks like could be just one bolt hidden that I can't get to other than by hand. Aha! I knew it. I knew it was going to be just one silly bolt in some obscure place that was going to hold me back. And I've got one in the back corner here, which is easy. So now I know, like if I get another one like this, I'll know exactly what to look for. Straight up, a little hidden bolt in the hole. Okay. I'm pretty sure, even though I have no idea, that I should be able to get these capacitors now. Ha ha ha. And there we go. And, well, these have certainly had a bit of burnout happening. And there's no bleed resistors unless it's part of one of the circuit boards. But you can just see all here in this part here, it's all been burnt out and really arced out. You can expose some of the copper, and you can see these few capacitors. So I doubt that these capacitors would be any good, but who knows. I still want this whole piece of copper there. I'm just having a look at what the capacitors are. Well, these ones are made in Czech Republic, ROHS compliant. 850 volts. Wow. It looks like 90, is it 90 farads? But 850 volts. Wow, they're full on. Wow. And check this out. Fried. Absolutely fried the circuit board there. So this must have really arced out big time. And virtually, it would have probably caught on fire. Or if not on fire, it would have really smoked up and would have stunk the whole place out. I bet you it scared a lot of people. They probably didn't know what was going on. Okay. Wow. Now we can get these buzz bars out. Yeah, this is just a residue from that incident there. It's just a dirty old power board. Oh, wow! This buzz bar. Look what it's got. 6, 7, 8 bolts. Just holding this little plate down. You know. Wow. It's obviously for a reason, you know. It's got to be all just tight and even. I'm not sure, you know, but I don't see the point in having 8 bolts. And it's not as if they're nothing bolts. They're, you know, pretty decent sized bolts, and they're you know, torqued in pretty tight. And, you know, a couple of heavy duty screws to boot. All right. So it does have this steel with the bolts and stuff, but, you know, quite a few pieces of copper buzz bar here. So at least it's the nice clean tin copper that's easier to sell. Okay, so we've got 3. They're actually very solid. That's tinned plated copper, and it's a really big chunk, you know. That's all copper there. Interesting. It wouldn't have been cheap, this unit. Just going by the amount of bolts that's been put it. Look at all that. That's big copper plate. Looks like cast aluminium inside it, or no, plastic with copper. And wow. Well, it's certainly been the most interesting one of these I've done out of the 3. It certainly wasn't easy. It was a real challenge to find all the hidden stuff, but it's been fun and, you know, worth it. Yeah, seem to only see one screw at a time. Now that's really strange. Wow. It's that gooey stuff again. Gel. And obviously there's silver bonding wires and all that, but it's really interesting. But all I'm going to do with this is apart from breaking off these little pieces of copper there, if they're not stuck onto screws, just irony brass or irony copper, if you like. And yeah, that's the other side. I'll just throw that into low grade. Wow. So the next few of these, I'll probably, I'll just leave them intact with the board, just in case they can be used for something. But as I said, I'm just scrapping them out to get a feel of them, and as I pick up more, I'll have a better idea on what I'm doing and what I need to keep complete and what can go as scrap. Once again, tin copper plating. This circuit board is absolutely fried. Tantalum capacitors along the base. So, oh wow, that's that gel stuff, and look at that, it's just totally burnt out. That would have really caused a toxic situation there, with breathing the fumes of all this burning out. Wouldn't have been very good. Yep, both of them burnt out from the inside. So it would have caught on fire. It really, unless they exploded or something, definitely looks like, definitely caught on fire. I'm going to just throw this whole thing. No, I can take it off. Yeah, because I want to get at least irony copper for it, or irony brass at least. And look at that. Well, this just is, looks like aluminium heatsink. These are good. All right. Wow. Well, we're just about there, guys. Certainly has been interesting. These things. I'm going to have to make some room here, so let me just clean up a little bit, just so I can sort of move this around. Okay, so we're a bit tidier. I've undone screws. Nice heavy steel. Okay, so all it is there's a big extruded aluminium heatsink, and it's stuck in this steel cabinet. Just going to have to work my way around it and see if I can somehow get it out. So I can't work out. Oh, okay. Once again, one screw holding this spacer. I think that was it. Yay. Whew. Okay. There's a whole lot of kind of like dust. I think that's from the fire. Not really sure, but I'm just going to tip this into the rubbish bin before it starts blowing around my backyard. I'll just get out this heatsink. Wow. Let me just deal with this. Nice. It is a heavy piece of steel. Nice, good, clean pressing steel. Oh, that was a relief. Oh. And look at this. Massive extruded aluminium. It's kind of extruded. It'll still go extruded. Yeah, it's definitely extruded, but it does have kind of like plates that may not be extruded, but the main, look at that thickness. That's an inch thick, that base. Oh yeah, it is. And they're just extruded plates sort of slid in. So they make the outer, and then these plates get slid in. So I'm just going to clean off these things, and I'll get a weight of this and see what we ended up getting. Alright, so this is the extruded aluminium all up, the big chunk down the bottom, all those plates around the top. So 24.5 kilos, about 34 pounds or whatever it is. $40 worth, $40 worth of extruded. That's pretty good. And quite a selection of copper buzz bars that I still got to clean up, obviously, take off the steel and the base, get these plates out. But yeah, not as much as that very first one that I did in the separate video as far as copper or aluminium, but still pretty good. These things, yeah, if they're not blown out, next time I'm going to try and keep these, but this one certainly just totally lost it. That's what it's meant to look like inside, all that jelly stuff, and that's what happened when it blew. Wow. That's certainly lost it. These capacitors seem to be very powerful. I want the copper buzz bars on them, right? But I don't, these are Vishay, so they're a good brand. 850 volts, so they're powerful. I mean, this one here looks like it. These first two probably still okay. The rest fire damaged. Not really sure. It just says 90.00 farad. So I'm not sure how much farad that is. It might only be 90, but 850 volts, that doesn't even sound right. Compared to the other ones were only 400 and the other one was 3 something. But yeah, I'll come to think of it, I mean, as well as these 8, also these 8 on the power board, and what were these? 450 volts, 820 farads. So yeah, so still yeah, nothing compared to these. And assortment of boards, showed you them at the start. Some from the control panel, cable and bits and pieces. But yeah, there you go. That was really intense. I'm glad I've done it now. I've got a better idea if I get that particular model. I'd rather get the first one that I've gotten, that I did. That seems to have about $80 value, but here we're still probably got about 55, 60. It's just a lot more work involved, probably about 50, 55. A lot more work involved. As you've seen, there's so many bolts running through. It was like pulling apart an aircraft engine. But I do have another one of those really giant ones. I'm going to leave that till last because I want to scrap out all the smaller ones. So I've got a few smaller ones, and we're getting down about 2 foot down to 1 foot and so on. So we might do a few more, just continue this marathon and yeah, see how we go. Right, so I've got a smaller one this time, not the smallest, but there's actually a couple of bigger ones than this. But before I continue with that, I got another package in the mail. I actually got another package and a letter. So in the letter I got another sticker from Johnny, Swedish scrapper. So that's quite a nice sticker. Johnny, Swedish scrapper. So maybe check him out. See what his videos are all about. So that adds to, I got a bunch of the Yarraville scrapper ones. So building up a collection. And then I got a little package yesterday. This one is from Shark Scrapper. Scrappers all over the place. So there's Shark Scrapper stickers. Cool. Shark cited today. Scrap at own risk. Oh, that's funny. So I've already mentioned Shark Scrapper, a scrapper from Florida. Check him out as well. His channel is going along nice and strong. So I'm not sure what he sent. Looks like a bottle of something, or might be some chili sauce or something. That's strange. Oh, how's that? Oh, that's cool, man. I'll get up a bit. All right, well, the bottle came all intact. How's that? Street Scrap. Shark Scrapper's own spicy habanero sauce. And it's actually even properly sealed. I'm not sure how he done that. Whether he's got a sealer, because it's got a security tab over it, or he might just bottle his own. He might just, yeah, it looks like he just labels someone else's habanero sauce. Wow. Spicy habanero sauce. Well, I do like my chili sauce. I hope it's spicy. Habanero. So it should be. Looks it. How's that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. So it's obviously a place where you can get their chili sauce labelled to whatever you want. That's actually a good idea. And that's really a nice little gift to give to people. Like, you go and do pickups and stuff. You know, you can put your own business kind of thing on there, but that's really cool. Street Scrap. How's that? Oh, thanks, Shark Scrapper. I'll put this in the kitchen, and I'll just keep it as a display for a while. When's the use by date? Probably doesn't have one. I'm gonna have to, yeah, check it out and use the sauce, and I'll just keep the bottle. Cool. That was from Shark Scrapper. Nice stickers. And obviously Johnny, Swedish Scrapper. Thanks for the sticker. All right. Well, that was that. Now let's get back to some scrapping. So, all right, so a nice compact one, this one. In between, I did another one of those really big ones of the first type that I did. Just got one big one out the way, trying to make room. I've been doing quite a lot of pickups in this past few days. Heaps. So I've got stuff everywhere. Probably the next video I might do a bunch of these kind of like all-in-one point of sale systems. Got heaps. About 100 of them. So that should be good scrap-wise, because they're just pretty much like a PC kind of thing, motherboard and stuff, so it'll be interesting. So these are these little control box modules. They're actually okay. I'll probably scrap it. I think I scrapped the last one out. It's been a couple of days since I've come back to this video, so but yeah, there's some cards in there with gold fingers and stuff, so pretty good. Yeah, it's just been a little bit hot and pretty hard to get used to the change in weather so quickly. So it's a nice warm day today, but we did have quite a hot one a few days ago. These are slabs of cast aluminium, so that's a nice bonus. So I'm looking forward to doing some regular pickups of these systems. Yeah, I think, gosh, hope that one doesn't give me trouble. Yeah, I think I'm going to build up quite a nice stack of copper buzz bars here over time. But I'll just see how I go, because copper prices are really high at the moment, so maybe when I finish all of these, I've still got quite a lot of them, I might take a batch into the scrapyard. Yeah, it would be a shame for copper to drop in value when I go and take these to the scrapyard, you know, and, you know, lose $50 for nothing, you know. Might as well, because I'm not going to, I don't melt down tinned copper. It's just not my thing. So I thought I'd just have one more look at these. We've done the big ones, so now I'll just do this smaller one. I'll see how I feel, maybe another smaller one, and we'll call this video done. I have to do them, obviously, and so it's just a little bit of something different in the subject matter for videos. Even though it's kind of the same kind of thing, but every one of them is different, as you can see, so might as well have a look at, you know, different variations while we're here, and then we're done with them. But yeah, I'm liking the generosity of the copper. Now, not sure. Oh, there goes the habanero. I better put it away before I break it. Okay, I'm just trying to work out how to get into this. Whoop. Might just be through the sides first. There we go. Oh well, this is just plastic, but look at that, really nice chunk of extruded aluminium. Well, I'm going to have some decent chunks. But it didn't really do a great deal. Okay, this might actually slide out somehow. All right. Yeah, strange. Looks like yeah, I thought it was going to slide out. Nice big fan. Okay. Yeah, a little bit more complicated this one to start off with anyway. There we go. Okay. All these nice copper buzz bars, bonus. Okay. It's nice copper. Now I'm just assuming it's going to slide out. This one's maybe because they've made it so compact that, well, they've certainly made it hard to work out how to do it. Well, I'll just have to undo screws until something gives. Surely it's not glued in. copper. Okay. Oh well. I'll just get the copper off that. Maybe a bit of brute force. There we go. Well, just got to clean up a little bit of the steel off this, and this is, you know, just an average piece of extruded aluminium. Nice. All right. So now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, so there's the power boards, capacitors, and these boxy things. And it looks like, yeah, mostly aluminium from here. Well, so far it's the smallest one I've done, but kind of they seem to be getting more complicated as they're getting smaller. But we're getting there, guys. Yeah, might keep some of these. These are pretty high-powered cables. Can always sell them as copper wire or strip them another time. But, you know, look at that. Some nice different lengths. That's good stuff. All right. We've just got a basic power board. Okay, there's another little board here. Just cut off some wire. Actually, my scrapyard has a special on for the rest of this month, so I might have to go and take some copper wire and stuff in, because yeah, the prices are even higher. Alright, so a couple of mid-grade boards. It's their own brand, so Eurodrive boards. Not a great deal of value, but okay, we've got kind of like hex nuts, bolts in there. Don't know if it's holding it down. And we've got these risers. Don't know if the risers are holding anything down right now anyway. Tell you what, I'm glad for this type of drill. What are they called? Whatever. Because they do that crack. A normal screwdriver doesn't have that crack. Impact driver, that was the word. All right, so we've got a couple of pieces of copper buzz bar here. Again, just these little things. Some kind of, it's their own brand as well. Yeah, but quite a lot of copper buzz bar and a low grade power. Great. Okay, looks like we've got the sides done. Nice extrusion. Well, we're really getting down to it now. Sometimes you just need two benches. One to throw stuff onto, and one to scrap off. All right. Well, all we're trying to do here, so the capacitors, so these must be a variation of capacitors, because, you know, and also on the other board, so it might be two different capacitors, because there's no other capacitors. Remember in the other ones they had the big cans, like 6 or 8. So that's what they must be. Don't play up on the there always has to be one. Oh gosh, gonna have to drill it out, I think. Yeah, it's just trying to get out this steel from the heat sink, and yeah, I'm going to have to kind of drill this out a bit. Just hang on. Okay, I think these just found it while street scrapping, but these are high-speed steel drills, so it should do the job. Very rarely I have to drill. It's been a long time since I've drilled a screw out. Usually I get them out. Maybe I put a little bit too much pressure on that. Oh gosh, I'm hopeless. Yeah, they're not a good brand. They're just a cheap brand, so that's probably why. There we go. Oh, we got it. Lost one screwdriver, or drill bit, but that's what we wanted. At least it made it easy in the end, rather than trying to break my way through it or something. Putting excess energy into... Okay, one big chunk of scrap steel. They certainly made it heavy. All right, well guys, so here we have our really nice chunk of extruded aluminium once again. Obviously we need to get this thing off, and it looks like these hex screws, so let me just find a bit. Okay, looks like I'm just going to be able to use the normal Torx type. Yeah, nice. think that would do it. No, my luck, it probably had nothing to do with it. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's strange. It's got a foam piece and it's just a chunk of just steel. You've got these little risers, and just let me have a look. Yeah, the risers are, see the little gold pins? They're all gold plated pins. They're not very heavily plated, but they're still gold plated pins. They'll probably go all the way through. Okay, yeah, it's one of those strange things again with the gel. So this is the whole complete okay, so next time I'll know. Look at all that gel. But what I don't know is, how do I get the central bit out? All right, so you know, I reckon this thing as a complete, yeah, it would be worth a bit, but just not sure how to separate it, because these the camera's playing up on me, but as I was saying, these things look like they're kind of mounted on, like stuck on somehow. I'm not really sure what they did. Because I want to clean the aluminium. Okay, well, the camera keeps turning off on me for some reason, but yeah, it's just a matter of knocking these. There you have it. So it looks like there's some good bonding wires there. I can see a lot of copper there, copper base. So I can just throw these into like a mid-grade board and just be done with them. So I've got to be quick on this one because the video keeps cutting out on me for some reason. So there we go. We've got the nice, clean, good, solid 20-pound heatsink. Couple more bits of extruded. A bit of cast alley. Just these weird things with little gold pins on that I can remove. Foam and just a nice chunk of clean steel. Got these power boards, and these probably are capacitors. Yep, they look like capacitors. 10 UF, 450 VAC. But what I basically want is all this copper buzz bar, a mid-grade, another mid-grade, a low-grade, cable, and quite a bit, you know, probably close to a couple of kilos of tinned copper, about 13 or 14 kilos of, well, probably, yeah, 14 kilos of extruded, some power boards. So not a bad one. I mean, not as much as in value as the other one, although I still got this little module again. It's got 3 boards in there, 4 boards, some gold fingers in them. So yeah, it's obviously the smaller we're going, the less value. Maybe the really small ones don't have much value at all. I might do one more, just do a real small one and see how we go. Okay, so since I'm nice and clean, The bench is clean. I thought I'd get into this module again. I can't remember if I showed you on the previous one. It's just a good wad of plastic. But still, it's not a whole heap, but it's still pretty good for a little bonus. Got some gold fingers here. So, hey, I never say no to gold fingers. I've given away quite a few of these little modules. All kinds of things. I gave away a similar size whole big unit to another scrapper. You know, when scrappers bring me stuff, boards to sell and that, I like to let them go with a little bit something. Given away about 20 PlayStation 3s. Had so many of them. So there you go. So 3 boards. This one here is the good one. Look at that. Beautiful gold fingers on these. And even a couple of little tabs on the top here. So it's just a mid-grade board, peripheral board. But obviously we want to take off these gold fingers because they're just spectacular. They're really high, you know, a nice deep orange, really good to add to the gold finger collection. And here is just basically just almost like a low grade board, pretty much. Does have some MLCCs, but there's nothing really on there. And same as this riser, does have some nice gold pins. Other than that, not so much in there. They're okay too, but this little set here might just knock it with a screwdriver and knock it off and keep these gold pins. And this is just rubbish then. It's no longer a low grade board. It isn't. Bit of aluminium, bonus. Yeah, and so this I'll just throw into low grade. But there you go, I thought I'd just throw that in before I move on to the next one. Okay, so I'll just make a start on this small one. Movitrack LTE-B. Yeah, bit of LCD. Basically, plastic top, but the base is one entire heatsink, so yeah, bit of value there too. Just a little different. Okay, so this is where all the lines are going. Interesting. So, need a little Torx here. Okay. Don't know if there's going to be much copper in this one. Might just be about, oh well, that's not too bad. Just get some wire out of this. Quite a fair amount of plastic here, but luckily I've got my plastic recycler, or my buyer, that takes plastic from me. He doesn't just take it from anyone. He just basically does me a favour. Alright, so, yeah, not a great deal. It's mostly going to be, there's a nice thick chunk of aluminium there. Yeah, it's just this board. There you go. Okay. There is some copper there. Battery keeps going flat. Yeah, the camera's just been playing up, so it's either well, the battery just went flat now, but it's been cutting out a few times. Maybe it's because of the heat, but I was just trying to say that the board underneath this green will be gold flashed. It's quite nice gold flashing, actually. It's a better quality gold flashing than most, so I would suggest it's the highest kind of gold flashing. But it doesn't really change a great deal, because apart from this little board here, which would be a mid-grade kind of board, it's basically just a power board anyway, so can't do much there. Bit of copper, so yeah, just a power board. Not a great deal of value, but still it's something. And here we've just got the extruded heatsink. It's quite a decent one as well. That's going to be a little bit hard for me. It's got torque screws in there, but they're really deep. So I'm going to maybe my trusty surveillance camera screws. Oh, look at that. Gosh. I can't tell you how many times this Torx screwdriver has come in handy, because, you know, it's got like 4 inches, and yeah, and I've got probably 20 of them, kept heaps. So there we go, we got it, no dramas at all. It does have this little module here. Oh yeah, another one of them. How's that? And once again, this is that, it's got that gooey stuff. So it should be just stuck on. See if I can just get it off while I'm here. There we go. So yeah. Yeah, I'm going to throw this in a mid-grade, because it looks like gold plating under all that, but you know, it's all that gooey stuff again, and I'm not going to bother with it. I'll leave it to the big refiners to get their gold out of that. There's a pretty decent chunk of extruded aluminium. Almost could use it as a door stopper. Nice and heavy. And yeah, and this extruded. Just got to remove these risers, and we're done there. So yeah, that was okay. Not a great deal there. Just a, you know, not much of a low grade board. Can always take off some of this copper if I wanted to, but I'll pretty much just leave it as it is. I'll just break off this part here, and so that gives me mid-grade board at least, and the rest can just go as a power board. And yeah, probably $7 or $8 worth of extruded aluminium, so that's still okay. Seems like obviously the smaller they are, the less value, and obviously that's how it would be, but I'm still happy. All right, I might have a look and see. I got a bigger version there that I want to scrap just to get out the way, because it's in the doorway of the garage. You can see all those boxes there. They're all point of sale. They've got boxes everywhere of them. There's 6 in each box. So there's you know, over 100, I think, that goes right into the garage. But I might do that unit down there just to get it out of my way, and so it's a little bit bigger again. So we'll just check that out. Okay, so this one kind of looks similar to one I just did a few units ago. Okay, so it looks like this one has already been worked on, and then they stopped at a point when they realized it wasn't worth repairing by the looks of it. Okay, alright. At least we've got a mid-grade board here. And once again, the board looks like it's well flashed underneath, so they'll get good gold recovery even out of that. Alright. So, okay. Yeah, so they've opened it up and they've seen, you can see a bit of burnt, so something's blown out there. And then they've just closed it up and said, "No, you got to get a new one, mate." All right. Now, let's see what we can get out of this. All right. Well, for a start, we just got to get a better size. Well, there's a bit of rust in there too. So it might have been water damaged as well. Just look at that, very rusty, very unusual. Like one's going to be oh no, my trusty oh gosh, just gotta love tools sometimes when you just got that special tool that just does miracles. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's strange. Now, how on earth did they get this in if it's a complete sealed unit? Wow. It's got to be this way. One way, another. How did they do that? Well, that's really, really strange. How am I going to go about this? Maybe we can break our way through. There's got to be an easier way, but who's going to find that? Just break this. There we go. That's one way. And we have our power board. We've got some good heavy duty copper wire here at least, so that's good. Got a couple of those things again, the gel inside. And there's the culprit. All that's burnt out, all that gel. Tinned copper, so I can put this into dirty copper, irony copper, or irony brass if you don't have an irony copper bucket. Yeah, so I'll deal with that, cut the wire. The rest is just a power board, obviously. All right, well, that wasn't too bad so far compared to the other one. There's two capacitors there. So maybe the bleed resistors were on the actual power board. Another one of these chokes, DC chokes. Cool. So definitely this one's different. I wasn't sure, but I'm now sure. Completely different to the others that I've done so far. And no doubt all these screws are holding onto the heatsink somewhere. So we should get a decent heatsink as well. Okay. Okay, this. Here's the DC choke. It's quite a solid, decent box, I tell you. So, what do we got? 90 amp, 600 volts, 0.07 mH, T40B. Interesting. 600 volts, it sounds like a lot. There's some nice copper pieces. Wow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I asked previously if anyone knows what the chokes are, what they do, what their story is. Let us know. Alright, well, the heatsink is just about undone. It's just these capacitors. Oh yeah, same old thing. These ones quite greasy and a bit corroded, so these won't be any good. 400 volts, 4400 UF. So yeah, I can just see corrosion, a lot of corrosion inside there. So it's obviously been water damaged, or it was operating in a very wet environment, some kind of, you know, manufacturing facility. So I'll get rid of them capacitors. I won't keep them with the ones that I think are pretty good. All right. So, might be one riser here. Looks like somehow Little door. And yeah, once again, there's a couple of little lips that just need to be bent back. One. Just so we can get our heatsink out. There we have it. So another nice chunky piece of steel. I'll leave the fans in. I'll just throw this into dirty pressing. And our nice chunky extruded aluminium heatsink. So, yep, I'm certainly building up a collection. Wow, awesome. Yep, nice. Oh, about 12 pounds. Maybe a bit more. So yeah, there we go. Extruded alley. Someone's going to tell me what these DC chokes are all about, why they're a sealed unit, what's inside them. No doubt there would be some copper, this running in there, but what is it? Maybe do people use these things outside of this sort of thing? Or do I just throw it into transformers? And a power board with some decent copper cable and a little mid-grade board, which is pretty good. Yeah, not too bad actually. Well, huge contrast to the really small one that I just did. I mean, this was so much easier. It was, you know, the bigger they are, the more straightforward they are. Awesome. All right, well, I've still got it quite a lot, but I think I've done enough for this little marathon. I just wanted to, you know, scrap out a whole bunch. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take me. I think some of them took a little bit long, so we'll leave it at that. I've got other things to put on video in the next few days or so. So yeah, hopefully that was a bit of fun for you guys. Keep scrapping, and I'll catch you real soon.